Hello again, and welcome back to another video build. This time around, I'll be sharing some simple painting techniques that'll give your props that Marvel cinematic look. Hope you enjoy it. I have a ton of these 3D printed Iron Man face masks, all of which are fully prepped and ready to be painted. But they're a part of a bigger project I'm working on, which I won't be revealing just yet. But I will be using a couple of them to show you how to paint gold and metal, just like in the Marvel movies. First off, as with all metallic paint finishes, we'll be starting with the basics. For that metallic steel look, you'll need a glossy black base coat. And you might not know this, but to achieve a warm gold finish, you'll need to start with a glossy red base coat. From that point on, you can of course use a plethora of different paints. But we'll keep it simple and start off by using a rattle can. Black for the steel and red for the gold. The most important tip I can give you to achieve that glossy finish is to be patient and let the base coat fully cure. I usually like to leave it overnight, and by the next day, if you can drag your fingernails across the surface without scratching any of the paint, well, then it's perfect for the next step. For the one in gold, I'll actually be using a brass paint from Allclad. First, applying a light dust coat, before going in a bit heavier on the second coat. And as for the one in steel, I'll use the same approach, but with a silver paint in a rattle can. Next, we'll be using a combination of black oil paint and the magical silver gilding wax. Outside of Europe, I believe it's more commonly known as rub and buff. For the application, I like to use a medium stiff paintbrush. Make sure to fully load your paintbrush and rub some of it off again on a paper towel, applying it just like you would when dry brushing. As you'll see later on, the size of your paintbrush will give you different expressions for the final look. And even though I'm working quickly with the paintbrush, I slowly build up the darker shades, making sure it's kind of rough and asymmetrical. If I can give you one tip for this part, it's to keep all your brush strokes in a straight line, going in all different directions, but with no curved lines. I'll be using the same technique for applying the silver wax. Make sure your paintbrush is fully loaded before rubbing some of it off on your paper towel. This way, it won't leave any lumps or wax residue. You're only left with clean brush strokes. I mentioned the size of the paintbrush will give you a different expression, even when using the exact same technique. This is a medium-sized paintbrush, which gives me a bit of a rough expression. If you compare this to the Captain America figurine we painted a couple of years ago, you'll see the use of a smaller brush, giving it a soft expression, which in this case better suits the scale and style of the figurine. If this faceplate was going to be a piece of cosplay, I would definitely go with a smaller paintbrush and even do one more layer of wax and black paint. But for this purpose, I'll finish it up with a top coat of glossy varnish and move on to the one in gold. But on the subject of creating steel and chrome finishes, I do have some other tips for you. Firstly, use plastic spoons for testing your paints and paint combinations before applying it to your piece. You can avoid a lot of mistakes this way. Secondly, if you want a dark mirror chrome finish, you should definitely try some graphite powder. It's simply applied with a cotton pad, polishing it to a mirror finish. But going back to the one in gold, we'll be using almost the same techniques again. The difference this time is I'll be going quite a bit darker, and the brush strokes won't be as defined, giving it a more cloudy and smoother expression. And since it's oil paint, you don't have to worry about going too dark, because it's easily removed again with a paper towel, and you can start over again. I apply a thin coat of glossy varnish before moving on to the golden gilding wax. I do retain some of the defining brush strokes, but just as with the black paint, I'm mostly going for a smoother expression. For a smaller figurine, I would definitely go with a smaller paintbrush, just like we did in our last video. Same technique, different appearance. And you can clearly see the difference between them, when all you've changed is the size of your paintbrush. To finish it all off, I apply a coat of glossy varnish, which gives it more depth and really brings out the different layers. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. A really dark, warm gold, just like I wanted. And this technique is so well suited for a variety of different props, especially Marvel movie props, like this Eather container, you know, the one that had the reality stone. And definitely for Thor's hammer. And there you have it, yet another painting tutorial, with some other tips and tricks along the way. If you like these kinds of short tutorials, we would love for you to comment on what you would like to see next. So make sure to subscribe and hit that bell, and we'll definitely share our next project with you. Thank you for watching.